Special Agent, it is week 5, and the task force has received another communication from the math problem killer. It has only been a few days since the restaurant killings, and he already has more victims. This is too fast. It doesn't make any sense. According to the communication, he is holding a young woman named Evelyn Martin at an abandoned construction site at 2101 Chestnut Boulevard. The suspect says we can send one agent, and only one agent inside to attempt a rescue. That means you are going in again. As you know, this suspect has a thing for math. He is going to tell you disturbing stories, then give you math problems based on those stories. It does not matter if his stories are true. What matters is that you get the answer right. He might be a murdering sociopath, but his modus operandi is clear. If you get the math right, he will let you pass and let the hostages go free. So get the math right and get Evelyn Martin out alive. Good luck.
Hello there, Special Agent. This is Sienna Harrison, age 33. I saw her at the 6th Street Parade at 11 a.m. She was alone. 3 hours later, I followed her into the parking garage. She parked on the 4th floor. As she was unlocking her car door, I approached from behind and slammed her face into the window, disorienting her. In the next 38 seconds, I had her bound and gagged and stuffed in her trunk. I then drove casually back to my dungeon in her car. When she woke up, her nightmare began. You know, Special Agent, I was going to go easy this week. Give you and the task force a little break. I was only going to play with one person. I was going to take my time. I was going to make it hurt. I thought that was going to be Sienna. But then one thing led to another, and I feasted on the whole Martin family. They were delicious. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Why don't you start with Sienna's age and then multiply it by the street of the parade? Then multiply the answer by the time of the parade. Your final answer will be variable A. I want you to multiply the time I first saw Sienna by the number of seconds it took me to bound and gag her and place her in her trunk. Then multiply this number by the floor that she parked on. The answer will be variable B. Pretty girls, pretty floats. Oh, how I do so love a parade. Don't you, Special Agent? Oh, I almost forgot. I have Evelyn Martin somewhere in this dungeon. If you want to reach her, you need to get past door number 1. The code for door number 1 is simple. You must add variable A to variable B. Even a pathetic little task force special agent like you can solve that one. Can't you? As Sienna mumbled and whimpered and pissed herself while strapped to the chair, I scrolled through her phone. I looked through her pictures, and that's when I saw her. Evelyn Martin. I made Sienna tell me where Evelyn lived, and then I disposed of my little toy. I watched Evelyn's house for 45 minutes. She is 28 and married to Thomas Martin, aged 36. Thomas's brother Patrick age 41, was there. If I was to have some playtime with Evelyn, both Thomas and Patrick needed to go. Patrick left after 45 minutes, and I decided to follow him. We drove for 47 minutes and finally arrived at his house at 9876 Tomato Road. There was another older man there, Stephen Harlett, age 39. The two laughed about how their families were gone for the day, and they brought beer and tequila. I waited, and 2 hours later, when the alcohol had taken effect, I attacked. You must start with Patrick's age, and then multiply it by Evelyn's age. Then add Stephen's age. Then add the number of minutes it took us to reach Patrick's house. The answer will open door number 2. It took me 86 minutes to reach Evelyn's house at 3425 Tiger Road. It was a pretty home with a backyard and a peaceful neighborhood. The time was 6 p.m. I got out of my car and I approached the house. I left after 45 minutes to follow Patrick Martin. I returned the next day to finish my work with Evelyn. I walked up to the window and I looked inside. It was 2 p.m. I saw Evelyn. She was wearing tight blue jeans and a tight polka-dotted buttoned shirt that hugged her torso. She looked delicious. I crawled through the window and approached her from behind. In the next 28 seconds, I grabbed her mouth, slammed her on the ground, and duct taped her mouth and hands and legs. Start with Evelyn's age, then multiply by the amount of time it took me to bound and gag Evelyn, then add the last 2 digits of Evelyn's address. The answer will be variable A. I left the bound and gagged Evelyn in the kitchen and went looking for Thomas. I saw him in the backyard, bent over, digging in the dirt like a dog. I grabbed a nearby softball bat. I approached Thomas from behind and swung as hard as I could toward his head. It made a most satisfying thud when his skull imploded. Start with Thomas's age, and then multiply by the number of minutes it took me to reach Evelyn's house on the first day. Then divide by what time it was when I walked up to the window and looked inside Evelyn's house. The answer will be variable B. With Evelyn bound and gagged and Thomas a piece of meat, I looked around the house and found a picture of Evelyn's younger sister. She was lovely. After a few more minutes of looking around, I found the address to her parents' house. I knew where my next stop was going to be. And if you want to find out what I did when I got there, you have to add variable A to variable B. The answer will open door number 3. Or is that too hard for you, Special Agent? It took 53 seconds before Stephen Harlett turned on Patrick. He quickly told me the names of Stephen's wife and 2 children. He told me their ages. He told me their schedules. After squealing, Stephen turned to his best friend Patrick, tears in his eyes, and kept saying, "I'm sorry, I don't want to die. I'm sorry, I don't want to die." I stripped them naked, tied them each to a chair, and had them face each other. I showed them my nails and my knives. I told them the first one who told me where the other's family was would get to live. I want you to start with the number of seconds it took Stephen to turn on his friend. Then multiply by the number of feet Patrick was away from Stephen. Then multiply by the total number of wife and children Patrick had. The answer is variable X. I made Stephen listen to the screams of his best friend Patrick as I played with Patrick's family. When I was done, I hung Patrick's family above him. He kept screaming, "I will kill you, I will kill you." But here's the best part, Special Agent. Patrick was not screaming at me. He was screaming at Stephen. After I finally killed Patrick, I walked back over to Stephen. He was 10 feet away, still naked and tied to the same chair. I asked him a simple math question. He got it wrong, so I cut open his stomach and pulled his intestines out. Mistakes have consequences, Special Agent. I arrived at Evelyn's parents' house at 9 p.m. I snuck up and crouched near a window. I looked inside and I saw Evelyn Martin's younger sister, Ariel. She was having a slumber party with 4 other girls: Annie, age 14, Harriet, age 15, Aaliyah, age 14, and Melody, age 15. I watched them for 18 minutes. They laughed and danced. 5 young girls in their pajamas. It was the perfect moment to strike. And an hour later, they were all butchered, hanging upside down in the living room. Evelyn's sister, Ariel, was the only one that fought back that night. While the other girls screamed like goats, Ariel grabbed a softball bat and swung as hard as she could. Her fighting spirit was admirable. She earned a chance at survival, so I asked her a math question. I told her if she got it right, she could go free. But if she got it wrong, she would be punished. She answered incorrectly, so I shoved 18 nails through her torso and hung her in front of the other girls. I want you to start with the number of nails I shoved into Ariel. Then multiply this by the time I arrived at Evelyn's parents' house. Then multiply by Annie's age. Your answer will be variable A. I want you to start with the number of minutes I watched the girls. Then multiply this by Aaliyah's age. The answer will be variable B. You must add Angela and Antonio's ages, then multiply by the number of hours I spent with Angela. The answer will be variable C. Now listen up, you stupid, pathetic task force agent. If you want to find variable Y, you must add variable A to variable B, and then add variable C. Or is that too advanced for you? Why don't you just make a mistake and enter the wrong code into the keypad and kill Evelyn Martin? Say hello to Evelyn's parents, Angela, age 53, and Antonio, age 57. They were upstairs in the master bedroom while the girls were downstairs. When they heard screaming, they both ran downstairs. I grabbed one of the girls' softball bats and smashed Antonio's skull into a pile of goo. Angela screamed. I approached her and took my time. 3 hours, Special Agent. 3 hours. Behind this door is Evelyn Martin. If you want to open this door, you must add variable X plus variable Y, and then enter your answer into the keypad. Let's see how smart you really are, Special Agent. My guess is not very. You made it to the final room. Apparently you're not so stupid. But don't celebrate just yet, Special Agent. You still have an opportunity to make a mistake and kill Evelyn Martin. So let's begin. I want you to start with the number of nails in Evelyn's sister, Ariel, and then add Evelyn's mother's age, and then multiply by the time I got to Evelyn's parents' house. The answer will be variable A. You must add variable A to variable B, and then subtract variable C. Enter your answer into the keypad on the crate. If your answer is correct, Evelyn Martin gets to go home. Although I did just kill everyone she loved and cared about, so the house may be a little quiet when she gets home. That is, assuming you don't make a mistake and burn her alive. You must start with Evelyn's brother, Patrick Martin's age. Then multiply that by the number of seconds it took Stephen to turn on Patrick. The answer will be variable B. Let's start with Evelyn's age, then add Thomas's age, then multiply by the number of seconds it took me to bound and gag Evelyn. The answer will be variable C.
Alright everyone, listen up. To begin with, I want to congratulate the special agent that entered this facility and safely recovered Evelyn Martin. That is outstanding work, Special Agent. But like this message on the wall says, Evelyn Martin will not be the last one, so we need to stay focused. Okay, next. The Task Force Behavioral Analysis Unit has been developing a preliminary profile of the suspect to help us gain insights into the serial killer's motives and signature methods. By studying the crime scenes and victim profiles, the Behavioral Analysis Unit aims to develop a more comprehensive understanding of the math problem killer's psychological makeup. I believe some of the conclusions put forth may be of value to your investigations going forward, and I would like to read them to you now. Quote, "The math problem killer exhibits a distinct set of psychological traits, combining sadism, manipulation, and a desire for control over both the victims and the authorities. Key characteristics include 1. Sadistic tendencies. The subject derives pleasure from the suffering and potential harm inflicted on his victims. He revels in the psychological game. 2. Control and manipulation. The subject thrives on exerting control over the situation and manipulating the actions of law enforcement. 3. Superiority complex. The subject likely possesses an inflated ego and believes himself to be intellectually superior to others. And 4. Methodical planning. The subject's attention to detail and ability to anticipate law enforcement's actions suggest a meticulous nature and ability for strategic thinking." Okay, everyone, I'm going to stop there. We are 5 weeks in, and we are in the big leagues. This guy is not an amateur. He is smart, he is ruthless, and he is prolific. And we need to catch him. Thank you. Now let's get hunting.
Subs.